So قدر خير حلو. Qadar, decree that is good and sweet. It's good, but also at the same time it's sweet. Allah gives you a child, that's His qadar, and that's good, and it's sweet. You like that. Then there is qadar that is khayrun mur. There is qadar that is good but bitter. It's bitter, it's difficult, it's hardship, it's a sickness, it's a disease. Allah takes your child away from you, Allah takes your wealth away. It's bitter, but you need to know, part of husnul dhan, part of good thinking of Allah, is to know there is good in it for me, even though I cannot comprehend it. Because part of adab with Allah is to know that your ilm, your knowledge is incomparable to the ilm of Allah, to the knowledge of Allah. In other words, Allah's encompassing knowledge and Allah's absolute wisdom knows what we don't know. Our intellect is just like our eyesight or like any other physical aspect that Allah has given us. It has limitations. A person with the sharpest eyesight, it has limitations. You cannot see beyond this wall. A person who has perfect hearing, but he cannot hear certain sounds. Equally, no matter how intelligent we become, our intellect has limitations. And these limitations become more acute when it's related to the metaphysical reality. I mean, forget even metaphysical reality, the ghaib. With all of our intellect today, with the advancement in science and technology, with all the, all the surveillance that we have, we still don't know 95% of what's in the ocean. We don't know. We still don't know the size of this universe. And when we thought we knew the size of the universe, then others discovered that, oops, the universe continues to expand. You know, the theory of the expansion of the universe. What we do know is that there are more stars and galaxies out there than there are sand particles on all of the shores of the oceans of this world. That's what we know. Can you imagine that? So if you were to grab a handful of sand particles, you can never count how many sand particles there are. There are more stars and more planets in the cosmos, which is now called multiverse, not universe, because unique is one verse. It's multiverse. There are more planets and stars than there are sand particles on the shores of all the oceans of the world. That we know, but our knowledge is limited. We don't know how much more there is. Because we know that the size of the universe is such and such, but then it continues to expand. Right? The furthest galaxy is 10 billion light years away from us. This, in a few years' time, this will become outdated knowledge. Right? So then when it comes to certain realities that the mind can never comprehend, the best thing to do for a believer is to submit. And to have husnul dhan billah, is to have good thought of Allah, that Allah knows better, even though apparently this seems bad for me, apparently it is difficult, and it is difficult, but I need to trust in Allah Ta'ala, in His ultimate knowledge and absolute wisdom, and know that in it there must be some good for me, if I respond appropriately. And that's why it comes in a beautiful hadith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded that the angels go and take the soul of the child of one of Allah's servants. And they did. This servant, who was a mu'min, a believer, he responded. by saying, Alhamdulillah, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. His child died. Test. His response is, Alhamdulillah, thanks to God, thanks to Allah. Inna lillah, to God, to Allah we belong. Wa inna ilayhi raji'un, and we shall return to Allah. Meaning it's Allah who gave the child, but Allah took the child. It doesn't mean the father or the mother will not be upset and sad. It's normal to be, it's a normal response to become emotionally sad and to cry, as the Prophet ﷺ cried when he held his own grandson and his son in his own arms and they died. He cried. And the Arabs at the time, who were meant to be tough and rough and bedwork strong, they said, "What's this, O Prophet of Allah? You are crying? Men don't cry." He said, that's rahmah, that's a mercy, that's mercy which Allah placed in the heart of His slaves. That's mercy. So when the angels took the child of this person, as in the hadith, Allah asked the angels, and He knows. Allah knows. But He asks, He says, you took أَخَذْتُمْ ثَمَرَةَ فُؤَادِهِ, you took the seed of his heart or her heart. The child is the seed, it is the fruit of your heart. The angel said, yes, O Allah. Allah said, what did my servant say when you took his child? This is the qadr, that is khayr, more. This is qadr, decree, which is good but it's bitter, taking the child. They said, oh Allah. He responded by saying, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah, and to Allah we belong, and to Allah we shall return. Allah says to the angels, you took the seed of his heart, and that's what he said. They said, yes, Ya Allah. Allah said, go and build for my servant a palace in paradise and call it the palace of Hamd, the palace of praise. This is just one of the rewards. Now remember, this servant doesn't know this fact that Allah had built for him a palace in Jannah because he took his child away. He doesn't know that. We've been told only through the hadith. Allah told us. He doesn't know that. That is why it's good for him, although seemingly it doesn't look good. Then there is qadar, shar, hilm. For the person who doesn't believe in Allah Ta'ala, Allah's qadar can be upon them. It's bad, it's evil, even though it's sweet. A person who does not believe and disobeys Allah, Allah can give them wealth, and Allah can give them this dunya. He can give them houses. So it's sweet, but it is bad for them ultimately if they don't believe in Allah. And then there is qadar, that is shar. It is apparently is bad, clearly it's evil, like destructions and natural disasters and so forth, and it is bitter also. Right? So coming back to Husn al-Dhan, there is a hadith when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, the hadith Qudsi that is narrated by Bukhari, قال عليه يقول تبارك وتعالى أنا عند ظن عبدي بي وأنا معه إذا ذكرني. I am with my servant according to his or her expectations of me. Right? And I am with my servant if he or she remember me. وَأَنَا مَعَهُ إِذَا ذَكَرَنِي. And if my servant remembers me, I will be with him. Remembers me in times of ease and remembers me in times of difficulties. Sometimes it is human nature to turn to Allah only when we are in difficulties. And we tend to forget Allah when things are going easy and life is comfortable. And that's why we have Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in another hadith, he says, remember Allah in times of ease so He may remember you in times of difficulties. In other words, of the adab with Allah and of husn al-dhan, good expectations of Allah, is to also think of Allah and remember Allah when things are going easy. Right? Life is good, you have a house, you're driving a nice car, barbecues every Sunday, you know, you go to school, life is safe in Australia, it's secure, you don't have to worry about, you know, bombs or people shooting you. Even if you don't have much money, you can live well in this country, right? And it's easy to forget Allah Ta'ala in times of ease. When we are squeezed, when things are difficult, that's when we turn to Him. Which is not bad, it's fine.